Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the championship game of the Crescent City Sports.
From Wintershide Stadium at Archbishop Shaw, it's the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League Championship game featuring a 4th seed Pope John Paul II Jaguars and the number 2 seed, the Brother Martin-based K's for Kids. And a pleasant good evening. Ken Trahan along with Lenny Van Gilder and Jude Young as we get set for the presentation of our championship game. We have our prayer and our national anthem coming up here momentarily as everyone will be asked to rise.
Remove your hats. For our invocation to be followed by the Star Spangled Banner.
Invocation coming up, and then the national anthem.
Heavenly Father, thank you for getting us to this final game. To our teams, may we have safety and good health. For our fans traveling back home after the game, may we have safe travels. In your name we pray. Amen. Now please remain standing for our national anthem.
Along with Jude Young and Lenny Van Gilder, Ken Trahan with you from Wintershide Stadium on a beautiful evening. It's sunny, it's warm, but it's beautiful, and we're set for a beautiful game here to decide the 3rd year of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League Championship. The starting lineups, first of all, for Pope John Paul II, leading off at second base, Everett Gibbs. Nate Babin is the pitcher. Andrew Hoff bats third at shortstop. Cade Lacoste, the cleanup hitter, at third base. Caden Amy, the first baseman, hits fifth. It's Trey Deonaday hitting 6th, and he is in center field. Landon Guidry in right field bats 7th. It's Noah Panks hitting 8th and catching, and Emilio Uribe is the DH batting 9th. Top 3, Gibbs, Babin, and Hoff. Middle 3, Lacoste, Amy, and Deonaday, and Guidry, Panks, and Uribe will end the lineup for Pope John Paul. Shortstop, Kristen Michelle, a DH, Brady McCluskey, the cleanup hitter, and center fielder. Cole Navarro will play third base. Reese Roussel is in right field. Bronson Lamont bats 7th at first base. Egan Prather, the catcher, hits 8th. Brody Shannon, the extra hitter, bats 9th. Stan Wiltz, the second baseman, will hit 10th. It's Kropp, Dara, Michelle, McCluskey, Navarro, Roussel, Lamont, Prather, Shannon, and Wiltz. And on the mound is Cole Heap to get this one started for the K's for Kids Crusaders. So here's Heap taking his warm-up tosses. 2 appearances, and he's 2-0 with a perfect earned run average. He's been dominant, Jude. 10 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, and 14 strikeouts thus far. So Cole Heap getting the ball to start the championship game here. Going into his senior season, the right-hander, big right-hander for K's for Kids. Getting set to get things started here. K's for Kids defeated Malcolm M. Dinas 3-1. In the semifinals, and Pope John Paul II in 12 innings beat Ponchatoula 2-1. We're ready to go. Great to have you with us, Jude.
No doubt about it, Ken. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to get to watch a kid like Heap try to continue his dominant summer. I mean, those numbers speak of absolutely overwhelming hitters, and I know the Crusaders would like to see that happen again tonight.
Ready to roll here, and Everett Gibbs leads it off. Gibbs, the second baseman. He was a very prominent player in the semifinal game earlier. He had a double and 2 singles and drove in a run. In fact, drove in the game-winning run. in the 12-inning game, and he swings and fouls it. We're underway. First pitch at 7:20. It's no balls and a strike as our championship game is underway. Gibbs, right-handed hitter for the Jaguars, who, boy, they've been really good the last couple of years in prep. 50-some-odd wins over the last 2 years under Brian Babin. There's the 0-1. That's over but high. It's 1-1. Coach Babin, of course, played on that World Series team for the University of Louisiana Lafayette back in 2000. Played at Delgado. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Done a great job with the Jaguars program. 1-2 the count. Pair of Catholic schools, one from the North Shore, one from the South Shore. Doing battle here. The 1-2. Outside, it's 2-2. Expect to see 3 pitchers for K's for Kids. And expect that Pope John Paul II will go as far as they can with Nate Babin. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here it comes from Heap. And he missed away. It's 3-2. So Gibbs has worked it full to get it started. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Toward third, tough chance. Pick Navarro, long throw, right on the money. This team plays such good defense, Jude.
There's no question about it. Around the infield, they just have guys who are playing at such a high level throughout the summer league, and they've shown it in a game plus already today. Tough play behind the bag, deep behind the bag, and threw in plenty of time against a speedy runner.
1 gone. Batter is Nate Babin, the pitcher. And Nate takes a strike. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike. The next one on the way. Swinging a foul back to the netting. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a foul, laid on the fastball, but stays alive. Holding it, no balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Chase the high heat. 2 gone. Heap with the gaudy numbers in the summer, off to a very good start here. And here's Andrew Hoff, the shortstop. Hoff had 2 hits, and he scored the winning run in the 12th inning earlier against Ponchatoula. Swing and a miss. Tied him up with a heater. It's 0-1.
All right, so Ken, I'll ask you this as I weave my way into the conversation here. What would you rather do in this situation? Would you rather be Pope John Paul, who had to play 6 innings and then got out of the heat for a couple hours?
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Or would you rather be K's for Kids, win, don't even leave your dugout, take about a half-hour break and go right back out and play?
Just missed 1-2. I don't think it matters except for the fact that Pope John Paul needed the break. They played 12 innings and 6 innings in 2 straight days. So I think they needed the break. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. 1 inning for Heap. Dominant. He mows them down in order in the top of the first inning with no problem. On to the bottom of the first, and K's for Kids coming to the plate. Impressive start for Heap as advertised. To the mound goes Nate Babin. We'll set the defense for you here momentarily. Heading to the bottom of the first. It'll be Wallace in left, Diodane in center, Guidry in right, Lacoste at third, Hoff at short, Gibbs at second, Amy is at first with Panks doing the catching. Coach's clinic in front of us with Chad Foray and Frank Cazzo. Foray's going to tell him what he did wrong just now. And
well, Jude and I were debating on just surrendering the headsets and get 2 real analysts in there. You know?
Yep. All good. Again, thanks to those 2 guys. We wouldn't be here without them. What a phenomenal job by Chad and his program to set things up here, get the field ready, and do everything for us. And what a phenomenal job by Frank to conceive this concept and see it to fruition. As I mentioned,
it gets better
in an earlier webcast, you know, we're 3 years in, 16 teams tells you doing something right here.
Yeah,
and prominent schools and programs.
And it's growing. It's not just the fact that it's 16 schools. It's 16 varsity teams and 15 JV teams. There's a lot of baseball getting played, a lot of chance to, develop young men getting, like I said earlier, they're getting at bats, they're getting innings in the field, they're getting innings on the mound, and all under your team concept where the head coach of your team in the spring is getting a chance, to work with these guys and get a chance to see what it is they're all about and get ready for next spring.
Nate Babin has finished his warm-up tosses. Cody Kropp will lead it off here for Case for Kids. First Kropp. Oh for 1 earlier. First pitch in the air. First pitch swinging. Should be easy in right field. There to make the grab is Guidry. 1 pitch, 1 out. Babin takes care of Kropp, and now Ryan Dara will bat.
Now batting, number 9, Ryan Dara.
Dara walked twice, singled in game 1 today.
So that makes him 19 for 22 this summer?
19 for 22.
Huh.
Breaking ball, read it, laid off, 1-0.
Sounds like your stats back when you were playing softball in
Something
your younger
like that.
days. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you know? I was pretty good.
Well, you probably were the official scorer as well, so it's
Strike called at 1-1. I was a coach, but I wasn't the scorer.
Oh, okay.
1-1 the count. But what I did was I recruited, and I had myself some fairly good players. 1-1 the count. Next one on the way. Taps it following a breaking ball. It's 1-2. I'm just thinking out loud.
They had to pitch to you, so they couldn't pitch to the
I'm
next
thinking
guy.
out loud here. Glenn Formo, Kenny Forsang, Manny Coletti. Let's see here. Scott Murphy, Nolan Franz, Brian Migliori. 1-2 the count. Here it comes. Swinging a ground ball to third, and that bounces off the third baseman. Short-op and Lacoste, who's a terrific player, couldn't handle that, so got to go as an error. And Dara will reach. That's going to hurt his batting average.
Yeah, it will.
Severely.
It's going to plummet now.
Number 18, Christian Mitchell.
I think he's still over 800, though. So
Yeah, that was in between hop. That's a tough pick. Michel bats, the designated hitter. Christian Michel, who had 2 hits and an RBI, and the win over Malcolm M. Dinas. Runner goes, pitch down, stolen base. So Dara's at second base with 1 out. Yeah, I think either way it works, Lenny, to your question earlier, that Pope John Paul II had time off. They needed it. And that Brother Martin likes it because they just played a really clean game. And if you play that way, efficient and under 2 hours, let's play. Let's go. That's what's happening.
no doubt.
Catcher visits the mound. And then on top of that, Jeff Lupo uses a lot of players. He's got depth, and he also likes to use guys and use this summer league in that capacity. Want to know the count on Michel. Dara leads, pitch on the way, and it's 2-0. That's a wild pitch. Runner for third with 1 out. So Babin struggling with command here. And it's 2-0. Now the runner is 90 feet away. Two balls and no strikes on Michel. They're back up the middle, conceding a run for an out. And a swing and a tap foul by Michel. It's 2-1.
Ooh. And the catcher's wearing that one.
Yeah,
Right
that
now. I give him
didn't
a second.
feel too
And give our umpires credit. Look, they've been out here. A lot of them working. What could have easily been 1 inning followed by 2 games. It turned into 6 innings plus 2 games. Some of these, I think at least one guy in the crew has worked all 3 of them. So it's that's quite a bit of of time out here in the heat. Now the sun's going to start to set.
Breaking ball, good pitch. Strike called. It's 2-2. Best breaking ball we've seen from Babin thus far. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The point I was making, though, is the umpires know when the catchers take one like that, and they'll give them a little extra time.
Down and out, it's 3-2. Do so on every occasion when either the catcher wears one or the umpire wears one.
Yeah, the catcher will go. The catchers and the umpires work together very well. The catcher will go out and visit his pitcher when the umpire needs a minute.
3-2 the count from the stretch Babin payoff pitch. Breaking ball beat to short will get the run home. Fielded by Hoff, throws him out, but a good job by Christian Michel to drive in the run to give Case for Kids a 1-0 lead. They're just playing solid baseball, period.
They are, and they're taking advantage of what's there. Yeah, what happened there, that was an error, 2 wild pitches, and a ground ball got the run home.
Well, an error, a stolen base.
Or stolen base, I'm sorry, yeah.
And then
but it did go back to the screen, yeah, but he was going, yeah.
Brady McCluskey bats with 2 outs, and he takes it high.
That's what good teams do.
Again, this team has won 8 straight games. Case for Kids. Finished second in the regular season. 1-0. Swing and a miss. And a tremendous effort by Pope John Paul II to knock out not only the top seed, but a team that had been unbeaten in Ponchatoula. 1-1 the count. Here it comes. And it's 1-2.
There's so many 5A programs in this Prep Summer League, and yet the Jaguars more than holding their own to reach the championship game.
We know what caught my attention with them, Ken. Obviously, they had a good regular season in Prep.
Towards second, hold that thought. Gibbs takes care of McCluskey, so it's a run on no hits with an error, and nobody left after 1. Case for Kids on top, 1-0.
Is in the playoffs, they won their first series and then had to go to St. Charles Catholic, and they stretched St. Charles Catholic to 3 games in a very, very competitive series, and we obviously know the program, both football and baseball, that they've built at St. Charles Catholic and how good they've been, and the fact that they were able to go on the road to La Place, and stretch St. Charles Catholic out to a third and deciding game in that series. Of course, the Comets prevailed, got to the finals in a tough loss in the finals to University High. But still, that's one of those things that opened my eyes a little bit, just, because that was what I believe it was an 8-1, if I'm not mistaken, or 7-2, but it was, wasn't a 4 or 5. Let's put it that way.
Well, Lenny, that Division III select bracket, so many powerful programs there. If you're Pope John Paul, you've got to raise your level to be able to play with those schools,
no doubt.
Universities and Parkview Baptists of the world. You mentioned what St. Charles Catholic's been doing in recent years, just to name a few.
Yeah, look, it's as we know, there's a lot of high-quality baseball played, a lot of places in the state. When Ken and I were growing up, it was pretty much in New Orleans. In New Orleans area, every once in a while, somebody like New Iberia or Lafayette might pop up there, and it was big in the Lafayette area. But obviously, what has happened at LSU over the last 40 years has really kind of turned the tide of baseball programs in Baton Rouge, and then you've got what's happened in Lake Charles as well with Barb and so many others over in that area. And basically, your I-10 corridor, anywhere you go on there, it is a challenge to play people every week.
First pitch missing for a ball to Lacoste. Cade Lacoste, the LSU Eunice commit, 4 hits earlier, and he pitched 6 shutout innings. He was
outstanding.
Takes a ball here. It's 2-0.
That goes to your point of such good high school programs, not just LSU. 6 NCAA tournament teams from the state this year. What Louisiana Lafayette's been doing for so long now. Louisiana Tech the last 5 years, a tremendous program. And it goes on and on. Of course, what Tulane doing the last 2 years, making the NCAAs, et cetera, et cetera. The Southlands.
Yeah, Nichols back-to-back tournament championships. And, look, it's going to be interesting to see. Just, the one thing.
Lacoste took a strike. It's 2-2.
Outside of what Tulane did under Rick Jones, and before that Joe Brockhoff, and what UNO did under Ron Maestri and Tom Schwarner, and obviously what LSU has done, it's hard to continue that.
Easy chance here for Dara. Puts it away, 1 out. Got a big out there.
You had a little.
Lacoste.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You had a little bit of that with the Cajuns under Tony Robichaux.
It's such a different era.
Yeah, it is. It is because this is simplifying things, but back in the 80s when Ken and I would go out to packed stadiums at Tulane and UNO to watch a game on the weekends.
1-0.
It's the simplest way to put it is more people are trying now. the folks at LSU realized they could.
Nice backhand pitcher there. They do everything right, don't they?
No doubt.
Fundamentally sound team. 2 gone.
Cover the bag. Yeah. Yeah, even though you're using a lot of players here, and it would be easy, for maybe breakdowns in communication and things like that, giving a lot of guys a chance to be out there. Doesn't matter. They're still playing this game at a high level.
What triggered that conversation, by the way, an LSU Eunice commit, 8 national championships now on the JUCO level, and of course Ken, the voice of the Delgado Dolphins, ridiculous success under Joe Sherman for decades.
No doubt.
No balls in a strike here on Diodane. Strike called. It's 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch, and it's 1-2. On Diodane, 2 gone here in the second. Nobody on. A 1-0 lead for Case for Kids. And now it is 2-2.
Ken, when you get to see LSU Eunice and Delgado play in the regular season, I mean, that's special. The amount of talent and the success those programs have had.
Play each other every year. 2-2 pitch on the way. Bounced it. It's 3-2, and now they're going to be
it's going to
not only
ramp up
playing
now.
each other, they're going to be paired because LSU Eunice is moving up to Division I, Region 23, in the same region with Delgado, Nunez, and Baton Rouge Community College. LSU Eunice winning the games against Delgado and Eunice, and Delgado winning the last 2 series at home against Eunice. Here's ball 4. To first base goes Diodane, and that gets Guidry to the plate. First base runner for the Jags.
Now batting, number 5,
Landon Guidry bats. Guidry, the right fielder. Was 0 for 6 in the first game earlier, where the pitching really dominated. That pitch is down for ball 1. Over but low. And Lane Corbin, Braden Perrin, Chandler Jones, really good for Ponchatoula. Caden Amy and Kay Lacoste, terrific for Pope John Paul II. Popped him foul out of play, right side. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 on and 2 outs, top of the second, 1-0 lead. One, and it's 1-2. He puts it in a good place. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And another runner goes, and the pitch is grounded toward the hole. Second baseman has to retreat to get it. Got there. Smooth, no problem for Wiltz. Takes care of Guidry. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. First stranded for the Jaguars, and it's on to the bottom of the second, and it's 1-0. K's for Kids on top. We mentioned this last night, but want to mention it again. Brian Babin, of course, a great baseball pedigree, head coach at Pope John Paul II, and he's coaching with a heavy heart. His father, Carl, died 2 days ago, and he insisted on being here to coach his team the day after his father had passed away, saying that's what his father would want. We observed a moment of prayer and silence before the game yesterday, and again, we send our deepest sympathies and most fervent prayers for healing and comfort for the Babin family. And again, it speaks volumes that Brian's here to coach his team and compete and to see his team in a championship. And I know he'd love to win this for Dad. Bottom of the second.
Life bigger than baseball, as you mentioned there, and for Coach Babin, and what that does as a life lesson to his players. I mean, they were already playing for a championship. To be able to play for him and see how he's handled himself under that kind of strain, it's impressive, and it'll stick with these players, I'm sure, for a lifetime.
Babin back to the mound, 15 pitches in the first, gave up the unearned run. They'll face Cole Navarro, Reese Roussel, and Bronson Lamont here in the second inning. Lenny, what about that Cazzo guy, man? Can't coach, huh? Just can't get it done, huh?
Well, it's
I thought he might hear me.
The good news is that's his program's the only one that's been in the playoffs all 3 years.
He's just been very gracious to
Oh yeah,
the opponents. That's
yeah,
all.
exactly. He's
Pitch missing
serving
inside.
serving as a de facto host of this league and of this tournament, and
Want another count. He just wanted to stay consistent this year.
Yeah.
Semifinals in prep, semifinals in the summer league. Just didn't want to break the whole thing.
I think he enjoys serving as a guest analyst here. We're going to let him throw on a headset here in the third inning.
Pop foul out of play. It's 2-1. On Navarro. Cole did a good job on the mound in game one and at the plate. Excellent player. 2-1 the count. And 2 hits in game one. Go along with his 3 innings pitched to win the game. Lined out a play off the batting facility down the right side. It's 2-2.
Frank's sitting close enough to us that we don't have to unpack this 3-man sardine can booth. We can just run a headset.
No, exactly. Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Navarro leading off here. The pitch. Breaking ball beat foul toward the on-deck circle. Holding at 2-2. Crusaders changed jerseys for game 2, going to the white look with the crimson numerals and the stockings and the yellow gold tint and the two-tone caps that they're familiar with and famous for. 2-2 the count. Hope John Paul in their navy blues with the red and a yellow gold and their two-tone caps, which they're famous for. 2-2. Popped him up. Foul out of play. Let's do it again. At 2-2.
The caps of the Jaguars. You won't see a better looking cap.
That is a really good looking cap. I agree.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And another on the way. Beat toward third. Handled by Lacoste. Guns it across. You see the arm right there.
Right.
1 gone.
No doubt. Now, the only thing I would say differently here is kind of goes into my football thinking of this, like, headgear, jersey, pants shouldn't be 3 different colors. That's just that's a football thing for me. If your headgear can match your pants, your headgear match your jersey, whatever. Yeah.
High for a ball. That goes back to it was the Bum Phillips regime that started that with the Saints, with the gold helmet, white shirt, black pants. Seen that again recently.
Mm-hmm.
I like the coordination.
Not a fan.
I'm the coordination guy. It's a strike call.
I liked that era's black jersey, white pants with the gold helmet because I think the pants were well designed with the stripe on the side.
With the stripe. When
if
they've tried it now,
snobs here.
Yeah, now not so much. not the white pants with no stripes.
I agree with that. Yes.
Missing low, 2-1, breaking ball. On Roussel, who came in game 1 off the bench. And a strike called. 2-2. Roussel was 0 for 1. Remember, he grounded out pitcher to second the first. Roussel waits, and here it comes. Chased it, struck out, 2 gone. Davin expands the plate, gets the swing. And with 2 gone is Bronson Lamont.
As a bat, number 29, Bronson Lamont.
With 2 gone, Lamont. Oh for 1 in game 1 with a strike called here. It's no balls and a strike. Up and in, and it's 1-1.
I think one of the things that we noticed about the finals the first 2 years, besides the high quality of baseball that we saw,
1-1 the count,
is just how much it mattered to those 2 teams playing for a championship. They were leaving it all out there. We've seen that thus far here, even in the semifinals leading up to this point.
Stepped out. Breaking ball set inside. There's 2 balls and a strike.
to that end, good to see some of the Brother Martin administration out here. Saw Athletic Director Mark Wisniewski here earlier. President Greg Rando has come out for the night game here.
There's a strike call. That's 2-2.
So not only matters to the teams.
Of course not.
Matters
it
to
the schools.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a championship to be won here at the end of this evening. That's up and in 3-2. And it is development, but once you get to this stage, it does mean something. Winning is learned. And once you have learned that concept, it carries over. Breaking ball just missed. Ball 4. Lamont walks with 2 outs. Egan Prather will bat, and as we speak, the lights come on here at Winterscheid.
Now ready. Number 11. Egan.
It's amazing how Chad Forey did that sitting in front of us. He must just broken out the app on his phone and turned them on.
Yeah. Chad's got a button in his pocket. He just pushes it and takes care of business.
Well, it matters, obviously, but at the end, it is still, it is still about development. I mean,
There's a wild pitch. That'll get a runner into scoring position.
And the point I get to there is, last year, of course, Lutcher-based Cypress Physical Therapy won the championship. And they started a young man championship game who had not pitched a lot and went out and just shut the River Ridge Patriots down for like 3 or 4 innings in that game. And, as you look ahead to this year, well, of course, both of those teams ended up
breaking ball missing.
Playing for state championships.
Well, what did our 2 champions so far in this league wind up doing the next season?
Well, let's see.
Jesuit.
Jesuit.
They did okay.
Yeah, they won.
Okay.
They won in 23.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Lutcher won in 24.
That's what I'm getting at.
And you had and to that, John Curtis also got to the final in 24.
That's right.
They were in the finals. And they didn't get there in 23, but no, you bring up a point. That's something to keep in mind for these 2 teams here.
Revisit to the mound.
Yeah, but to finish the story, his starting pitcher ended up being his starting pitcher in the championship game this year, and I believe ended up being the
Quinn
MVP.
Smith.
Yeah, ended up being the MVP of the
He had a phenomenal season. He had an unbelievable season.
Yeah, but he credited that game for help get him ready to be able to pitch in the championship game.
Pitch missing inside. It's 3-0. Quinn Smith had a great season. They had an unbelievable 1-2 punch with Marshall, Luke, and Smith. For Ryan Jensen, 3-0 the count. And that is high. So back-to-back walks with 2 outs issued by Babin. And now Brody Shannon will have an opportunity. We'll get a runner at first base. That will be Blaze Tingstrom. Pitched well in game 1. Long look, first pitch. Breaking ball strike. Babin really slows down with runners on base. Yeah. 0-1 the count.
It was a really nice-looking breaking pitch, maybe the best one he's thrown all night.
Lamont second. Tingstrom at first. 0-1. And it's 1-1. Ball and a strike. Swing and a miss and a high one. And it's 1-2 on Shannon. 1-0 case for Kids here in the second. Got 2 on with 2 outs. One-two pitch. Breaking ball missed away. It's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Inning over with no runs, no hits, 2 men left, and it's 1-0 K's for Kids after 2 innings. And want to remind you that live streaming from the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by Lamarck Motor Company in Canton. Lamarck Ford, the #1 Ford dealer in the Metro New Orleans market. Must be a reason. Lamarck Ford. Thanks to Lamarck. As we go to the 3rd inning of a 1-0 game. Should mention also, Lenny, we mentioned administrators, and we had a chance to visit with another really good one earlier today, Matt Kara and Archbishop Rummel. Really good guy. He's come a long way since being a state championship bowling coach. So
he's been on the job for 2 days now, and he's
he's a veteran.
I don't know what
he's a veteran.
He made time to visit with us before we headed out to the ballpark. But that's I don't know. That's I don't know what you call it, questionable judgment or not. But no, seriously, all the best to Matt, and well-deserved promotion, and I'm sure he's going to do very well.
Yeah, big fan of Matt's. He's a really level-headed, smart guy. Loves the school and has done a great job in every capacity he's been involved in there. Whether it's been running a religion department or being a bowling coach, a teacher, period, an administrator most recently, and now running the school.
It's always interesting to me to see, people ascend through an organization in different roles along the way, and some of that is by design, to touch a number of different places before you make your way up. I had the fortune in my time at Tulane to work 5 years for Kevin White, who's maybe the best athletic director that we've seen in the last, half century of college athletics. And just to see how he operated and the people he brought in as a team and how he gave people a chance to move their way up the ladder.
Number 7, Noah Panks.
Noah Panks leads it off here in the 3rd.
While we have a moment, let's welcome in. We were giving Frank Cazzo a little bit of grief earlier. We do want to welcome him into the broadcast, and he wants to coach.
We were just singing his praises to his new principal earlier today.
Yes,
telling him just how special he is and how much he needs a raise. And I think Matt's response was, "Well, we'll give him a raise when he wins a championship." So, is that about right?
That's about
Lenny,
right.
Was that it?
That's about right.
That's about right. But I thought our guys played great today.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Good to have you, Frank. How you doing, buddy?
How y'all doing, guys?
We're doing fine, man.
Yeah, that was a terrific second semifinal. Really both of them were really entertaining games in different ways. But no, it was somebody unfortunately had to lose that game, and but it was I thought it was a well played game on both sides.
Yeah, and it was. And whenever Rummel plays Brother Martin, and it's always going to be a battle. And I thought our kids played extremely well. I was very pleased with Brody Giglio behind the plate today.
Tap foul.
And we had a couple of opportunities on the mound to throw strikes and challenge hitters, and we got to do that. So it was, Peyton, Brennan, and little Nick Collada out there, and they battled. And that's what we're in search of, trying to find some arms.
Breaking ball fouled out of play.
And that's what we keep coming back to in all of this. Look, somebody's going to hold a trophy at the end of the night, and that's great because you want something to be able to play for in the summer.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it is about development and a chance to give some at-bats and innings.
This is in the air to short right. Hold that thought, and it's caught for the out by Roussel for our number 1. Go ahead.
And trust me, we were playing to win. We were playing hard. The kids had low energy in the dugout. And, in a different situation, we probably would have walked Dara. I believe he came up second, third. But I wanted to see our young guys pitch against them and see how they did, and they did fine.
It's going to be a situation you might have to face him next year with some of these guys.
That's right. That's exactly right. But if first base is open, he's getting walked.
Pitch outside, ball 1 to Uribe, the DH.
So was that unintentional?
Emilio Uribe.
Sorry, Ken. Was that intentional after the wild pitch there?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
We just didn't throw strikes to him there, but it was good. It was good for us. We got to see some kids play today, and a lot of our guys been playing on the road, been doing a lot of showcase ball and travel ball, and they came back today and played hard, And
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
A lot of kids during the summer. Got a lot of good looks.
Well, you conceived this idea 3 years in, not only 16 varsity teams, but you started the junior varsity component this year. You've got to be pretty pleased, right?
Yeah,
Swing and a miss. That's our number 2.
Yes, and you guys are tremendous help and do a great job promoting everything. You know, and that's the name of the game. And this is really, really a great league, and we're going to gather some more teams in the future. And we got some guys that would like to play, but they got a lot of stuff going on themselves as football coaches and assistant football coaches and head football coaches.
Toward the mound, past the mound, charging Wiltz, throws across the body, and he's safe. Bang, bang play, safe at first. Gibbs beat the wrap. So a 2-out infield hit for Everett Gibbs. Gives Pope John Paul II its first hit of the game. And speed at first with Gibbs, and now Nate Babin to bat. But go ahead, Frank.
That's what we're looking to do, is develop some kids and have a good spot where we know what guys need to work on and how we're going to handle next year. And we'll have some exit interviews starting next week with the kids. All our kids will come in. We'll meet with them one-on-one and let them know what to work on, you know, and not so much let them know where they're staying. We got a whole year. You know?
Slowly over the mound. Again, Wiltz comes to get it. Can he throw him out this time? You bet. And the inning is over with no runs and a hit. No errors, 1 left, bottom of the 3rd coming. And it is 1-0 live streaming from the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by Rhino Shield Mid-South. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling and is backed by a 25-year warranty. Get your free estimate. Visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com or call 833-233-7181. So, Frank, again, the JV component, you were pretty pleased this year, huh?
Yeah, very pleased with that, you know, and we got to mix some kids in there. Guys need to get some work on the mound. We're able to throw them. And we like our young players. And honestly, a lot of the teams that were in the JV component of the league had some very nice young players, you know, and it's always a plus when those guys can get out there and play, you know. And we had some guys that double dip, but it was very, very important for us to get these guys playing. And, you know, we had 1 week where we got rained out all 3 games. But you know what? The kids were going to play somewhere else. And I could tell today they were getting a little tired. This poor Pope John Paul team's got to be exhausted.
They have to be tired, huh?
Yes.
No question. I mean, look, they played 12 innings over less than 24 hours, and these were hard innings. I mean, the kind of innings where you had to play hard.
That's right. That's always a real good program. And Coach Babin does a great job with his players.
So here we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stan Wiltz will lead it off. Second baseman. He'll be followed by Crop and Dara against Babin, who's thrown 42 pitches in 2 innings. He's walked a couple and struck out 1. Showed bunt, took a ball. Stan Wiltz, 1-0 the count. What's impressive for the Case for Kids team, Frank, is that they've just played sterling defense. I mean, in your game and in this game, they've just been really good defensively.
Yes, they have. And McCluskey's play in center field was outstanding. That was a big league play he made out there. And Wiltz made a couple of nice plays, and they're going to battle you. I mean, it's Brother Martin, Jesuit, Holy Cross, whoever, St. Aug.
Strike call.
You know, when they would get together, it's going to be good baseball.
2 balls and a strike. It's pretty interesting because that was a good point that Jude made here. You didn't get to hear it a few minutes ago. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That is just missing, over but high, 3-1. First year of our league, Retief Oil, a Jesuit-based team, won it. And what did they do in the following prep season? They won the state championship. Beat somebody, I don't know. Then year 2 of our league, who wins it? Lutcher-based Cypress Physical Therapy. What did they do this past season?
Won
the state championship. So maybe there's something happening here, right?
Yeah. It's I think the coaches do a great job of handling their teams. You know, every team we played, I know that there was a lot of kids that got to play, and you like to play more of them, but I mean you're limited on innings. You know, we're playing 7 innings, and we want our better guys to get work, but we also want to take a look at some other young men and see how they develop it for us.
Pitch missing up, ball 4. So Wiltz draws a leadoff walk to start the 3rd inning. Good start here for Case for Kids. That's walk number 3 issued. by Babin. And here is Cody Kropp, who flied to right his first trip. Yeah, it was a really good win, Frank, for Pope John Paul II. They just toughed it out against Ponchatoula.
Yes, they did. That was two really good teams, and coaches were coaching extremely hard, and just listening to their dugouts, the kids were in the game the whole time, and I know a lot of these guys are exhausted, and I know two of my players are getting in the car right now and heading up to Monroe for an all-star tournament they're about to play in. They play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yep.
But again, I want to thank you guys for everything y'all do for the league, and it's first class, and very proud to be part of it.
Runner goes, pitches a strike. Catcher couldn't handle it on the transfer, so Wiltz steals second base to get into scoring position for Kropp. A good job there. Yeah, Lenny and I were talking earlier. I mean, you mentioned Brady McCluskey coming off of a freshman season and playing for the Brother Martin team. You have one like that too, Ian Smith, whom we're really impressed with. That kid he's got size already. He's got a really good glove, and he's got a really good arm. And you can see the offense is going to come. That's a good-looking freshman going into the sophomore year.
It's going to come for him. And we like Owen Nugent also. Owen is going to be a very good arm for us. And we got a little young guy at first base at times is little Tyler Fomo.
It's a nice bunt.
His bat well.
Pitcher to first, and it's wide, and that's going to score a run. So, runner to second. All right, Lenny, sack or a base hit?
Sack, E.
All right, sack E1.
Yeah, good bunt. I think a good throw. He's out. So
okay, so we'll give sack, no RBI, and an E1 scores the run, and it's 2-0. As a result, and now sets up an inning here. You got a runner at second, still nobody out, and you got Mr. Dara at the plate. Ryan reached on an error, scored a run, and messed up his batting average in the first inning. Still reached.
You ever have anybody have numbers like that, Frank, in all your years?
I think I hit like that in 1980.
Yeah, right. Slowly towards second.
No, he's a heck of a player, man.
And another wide throw. That'll be an E4. That goes out of play, and a run scores, and it's 3-0. And the defense coming apart here for the Jags.
Arizona State's getting a nice one in him. A multiple position guy, and he's a great kid. I was talking to him before the game, and just an outstanding young man.
Lot to like. So it's 3-0, and another runner replacing the other at second, and still nobody out. And here's Christian Michel, grounded to short in the first inning. Good breaking ball. It's 0-1.
That's a bad. Number 18, Crescent, Michelle.
No balls and a strike. Late on the fastball, 0-2. Babin right now just trying to get it out. This is a rough inning. The two errors have really hurt one of his own. On 0-2. Towards second. Gibbs throws him out. Productive out. Move the runner to third with one out.
Been a couple of bad throws here, but this is just good fundamental baseball. There's a runner at second and nobody out there hitting behind the runner, hitting towards the second baseman. Getting down a great bunt. That's the kind of things. And again, even though we're seeing some interchangeable parts out here, they're playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
That's right. Coach Lupo is gonna do that. He's gonna put as much pressure on you as he can, and you gotta be able to handle it.
Brady McCluskey takes a strike. It's 0-1. Grounded out to second to end the first inning. Infield has to come in here, down 3 runs already. Oh, 1 pitch. Tap foul. It's 0-2. So McCluskey steps out, prepares to stand back in. Lights have taken effect here at Winterscheid. No balls and 2 strikes. And up the middle. Nice pick by the pitcher. Throws to first. Can't play it any better than Babin just did. Love seeing that from a pitcher, don't you, Frank? Your pitcher handled the line drive and turned it into a double play earlier. Spadoni.
Yes, the little guy on the mound's an athlete, you know, and he feels the spot well. And guess what? If you don't feel your spot well, it's going to be a long night, you know, and I thought he did a great job just now on that play.
And here's Cole Navarro with 2 outs. Here's Navarro. Pitch on the way. Bounced it. Nice block by Panks to keep the runner at third. Important for Pope John Paul II to keep themselves in touch here, Lenny.
Oh, no doubt here. You don't want to let this get away, especially against, you know, a team like K's for Kids. Like we say, all the little things that they're doing well, you know, it's hard enough to rally right now.
1-0. Missing down. It's 2-0. Babin took a little walk back behind the mound and now back up, towing the rubber. 2-0 the count. Up and in, 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. There's a strike called. It's 3-1. Three balls and a strike. Babin really works slowly with runners on base, as we noted earlier. Trying to get out of this inning. The 3-1. Ball 4, breaking ball missing. Navarro walks. Well, Frank, the other thing is that they used 2 really good arms, did Pope John Paul II, to get to this game. I'm sure the plan would have been to try to save one if possible, but they just couldn't do it in a 12-inning game.
Yeah, no, and I think so. And I thought the guy that started yesterday for Pope John Paul was very, very good.
Yeah,
I
Amy.
thought all the pitches they threw out, you know.
Yeah, Lacoste was really good. 6 shutout innings to win it.
Yep.
Fastball just missed the outside edge to Reese Roussel, who struck out his first time swinging.
Ken, as Jude points out there, rare line score. Maybe it's a hat tip to Brother Martin's bowling program. 3 runs, no hits, no errors right now. 300.
That ball's to right, is carrying, and it's over his head. He did not read it at all. Roussel's on his way to second. Runner's going to round third. He's heading for the plate. Throw there is not in time. 2-run score on the double by Roussel, and it's 5-0.
Good thing I got that in when I did.
That ball froze Guidry. You could see it froze him right away, and once he froze, he had no chance to get that one. And it was mentioned all day that if the ball's going to carry, it's going to carry to right. And you saw it right there. 2-run double for Roussel. Kind of opens this game up at 5-0. And here's Lamont, who walked earlier. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball away. A little bit up in the zone as well. One and 0 the count. Brings another. That's down and out. Another hook. It's 2-0. Been a struggle here for the Jaguars. They just look like a tired team, Lenny.
And look, that was, not only was, you mentioned 6 innings yesterday, 6 innings today to play a 12-inning game, but it was 6 innings today, and for that matter, yesterday, in some pretty good heat out there.
Yes, it was very hot, guys.
And it was hot for your game as well, but it
Yes.
started to get, at least by the end of it, probably a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Do you want to call what 109 versus 114 in the heat index?
And thank goodness we really wasn't on artificial turf.
Mm-hmm.
No, 'cause
2-1. Up in the zone. It's 3-1.
Probably could have added about 10 to 20 degrees on top of that, right?
catches would have been in trouble.
3 balls and a strike. It's a good weight loss program.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's 3-2 now. Lamont big cut comes up empty. 4-run inning to this point. Lamont back in. And he struck him out. Good pitch. So in the inning, 4 runs crossed the plate. It happens on 1 hit. And there were a couple of errors in the inning. A runner stranded. That's 3 left overall. So we played 3, and it's now 5-0. K's for Kids over Pope John Paul.
Ken, before we excuse Frank here and thank him for his efforts and let him enjoy the rest of the night, let's remind folks that Crescent City Sports thanks Moe's Pizza for their support of tonight's broadcast. Home of not just the best pizza on the West Bank, but much more. Stop by before or after the game at 1112 Avenue H in West Wego. Check them out on the web at moespizzanola.com. It's moespizzanola.com.
Thanks to Jeff Arseman once again.
Yeah, I think if they were still open, you'd be running by again. What is your favorite non-pizza item on the menu at Moe's?
Lemonade.
Lemonade? That's a
They've got great lemonade.
That's a good call. The sausage, the sausage rolls are really good. There's so much stuff. You can't go wrong at Moe's. And our thanks to them.
3 innings pitched for Cole Heap. He's done. No runs on 1 hit. While he was in the game, he walked 1 and struck out 3 and stands to win this one. And now Jude Tingstrom will take over the left-hander for the Crusaders. Tingstrom becomes the new pitcher. And Jude Tingstrom, one of the 2 Tingstroms, comes into this one, having pitched in 4 games. And the record is 2-0 with a 2.69 earned run average. He has a save as well. 13 innings, 16 hits, 5 runs earned, 7 walks, and 16 strikeouts. He's hit 3 batters. That's been his ledger in the summer to this point.
I got a chance to see him work in the quarterfinal series against John Curtis. I was very impressed with him.
Here's Andrew Hoff, and that's a ball. Hoff struck out his first time, swinging. 5-0 K's for Kids here in the top of the 4th inning. There's a swing and a foul back to the netting. It's 1-1. Bounced it. 2 balls and a strike. 16 teams competing this year. I'm going to get Lenny to give a shout out to every one of them here in a few minutes. So we call them all up. 2-1 count. Tapper slowly toward third, swinging bunt. This is going to be a base hit. No chance to make a play. Hoff with a swinging bunt single gets it going here for the Jaguars in the 4th with hit number 2 in the game. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you place it. Cade Lacoste will bat. The LSU Eunice commit. Popped out to short in the 2nd. Get the leadoff man on for the first time.
Yeah. Make sure we give love to all of those sponsors. I guess it was ironic. 2 teams don't have sponsors. 2 of them, those are 2 of the 4 teams in the playoffs this year.
1-0 the count. They make it possible.
No, they all do, no doubt.
1 ball, no strikes. Swung and a miss on a pitch down and in, 1-1. So a ball and a strike. Next one on the way. Hard hit to center. Center fielder makes the play. McCluskey got a good break. Boy, he's good out there, isn't he?
No doubt about it. And he's going to be out there for 3 years.
Pretty special. One gone. And now Caden Amy grounded out first to pitcher back in the second inning. Again, you really play this ballpark to make them hit it over your head. Reese Rousseau was able to hit one overhead to produce 2 runs. Hard hit, left side, backhand, stumble, can't recover. Dara to the backhand, stumbled when he got to it, wasn't able to complete it. Tough chance, but probably an error, Lenny.
That's I think for a lot of guys that might have been a hit, but that's borderline ordinary effort for him. He should have been able, perhaps should have been able to make that play.
2 on here with 1 out. And Diodane Batts took a strike. It's 0-1. First miscue we've seen from the Crusaders. Opens the door a bit for the Jaguars. Diodane at the plate. Here it is. Breaking ball drops over, but just high. Close pitch, 1-1. Again, our thanks to Shane Rigdon. Great job of getting his umpires out here for 2 days. We're very appreciative, and they do an excellent job. Toward first foul. So it's 1-2.
Jaguars definitely making some harder contact here in the top of the 4th, trying to get something going.
1-2. Runner goes from second. Throw to third. He is saved. Double steal. Hoff got a jump back in. Good read, Amy. And both advance in the process on a double steal. And now you get 2 runners in the scoring position. And a 2-2 count for Diodane.
Ended up being a good pitch to run on off speed. The throw, though, made it a pretty close play at third anyway.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Toward first, runner for the plate. Race to the bag and got him at first. Run scores. It's a 5-1 ball game, but an RBI for Diodane. 3 unassisted. He gets the run home as Hoff scores. And on the play, Amy advances to third with 2 outs. And here's Guidry. Grounded out his first trip. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, we got one part of the parlay done. The Cardinals won tonight, so.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, 7-4. The other part of the parlay, 7-6 Toronto in the 8th inning over Houston. Right side caught on the line, leaving his feet. Lamont made the play nicely. Inning over with a run on a hit with an error and a runner left. That's 3 stranded by the Jags. Bottom of the 4th coming, and it is 5-1 K's for Kids on top. Live streaming from the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 45 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. Big shout out to Larry Gibbs.
Yeah, no doubt. Does as much for amateur baseball as anyone in New Orleans, I would say. And we appreciate his support as we continue to try to bring you as much coverage as we can of high school and amateur sports in the greater New Orleans area as well. Well, we talked about the Summer League standings. Let's run them down in standings order. To give a shout-out to all 16 teams. We mentioned the 4 teams here: Ponchatoula, Brother Martin-based Case for Kids, Rummel-based Malcolm M. Dinas, Pope John Paul II, and then straight down the line here, the rest of our teams. Jesuit-based Retief Oil, a longtime sponsor. Mandeville-based Gulf Coast Lending Services, Lakeshore-based Mortgage Gumbo, Holy Cross-based Ponsteins. I would think they're probably the longest running sponsor in summer baseball out there. Ken, would you say so? Ponsteins has been at this longer than anybody.
Probably.
John Curtis-based River Ridge Patriots. Archbishop Shaw-based Refuel. Let me tell you, Holy Cross Curtis Shaw finished in a tie at 4-4, right? That was for 8th, 9th, and 10th. They finished one game out of the playoffs. That's how tight this playoff race was this year, especially for that 4th and final spot. North Shore-based Legacy Auto Group Panthers. St. Augustine-based Black Pot Catering. Lutcher-based Cypress Physical Therapy. We mentioned our defending champions. St. Thomas Aquinas-based the University Donuts Falcons. Man, it makes me hungry just saying it. Chalmette-based Gulf Coast Bank and Bell Chase-based Voiron's Specialty Meats. Our thanks to all of those sponsors that help make the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League possible.
Thank you, sir.
All right, number 73.
Got a new pitcher, Cohen Cure, comes on for Pope John Paul II. More on him in a moment. Ready to go here. And we'll get a different hitter for the Crusaders. That's Ben Switzer, who's coming to bat. Toward third, one pitch, and one out. Lacoste throws him out. Switzer batting in Prather's spot.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some switching around at the catcher spot. Probably see a bunch of guys here in the next inning.
Switzer rounds out. Here's Brody Shannon, struck out swinging his first time. Want to know? Give you the line on Babin. It's a pretty strange line. He pitched 3 innings. He allowed 5 runs, but none were earned in this game.
Only give up one hit.
4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and the wild pitch is hurt. 3 of those. In the air, right side foul and unplayable. Off the bat of Shannon. Right-handed hitter back in. Breaker down. 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. And another. This is foul, and it's 2-2. 5-1 Ks for kids here in the 4th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bounced it, 3-2. Nightfall has arrived here in Marrero. Payoff. Up the middle, off the pitcher's leg, toward first. That's going to turn into an out. Let's make sure Cure's all right. It's your basic 1-3 put out unconventional fashion.
He had enough wherewithal to keep breaking toward the bag at first in case they needed to make a flip. So if he could do that, I think, once he's feeling it now, he's okay. And they're going to check on him to be sure here.
I'm glad both of you didn't use the kick, save, and a beauty
Kick,
pun.
save, and a beauty. Well,
Oh, boy.
if it had gone right to the bag at first, maybe. It's seen those before.
Yeah, some overused axioms. Some are unavoidable when calling games. Only so many ways you can say certain things. Bunch of ways to talk about zeros. I mean, there's a whole bunch of descriptions. A lot of narrative you can use. Don't script it, it just comes out. But I always wondered, as a ball, want to know.
You guys do way
some
more
of the
than
great
we do.
calls. Wiltz took a ball. He walked, stole a base, scored a run in the 3rd. How many of the great calls were preconceived. I've always wondered that. I know some are. They've just been holding them for the proper time, and others weren't. Down a ball, 1-1.
I don't know. I think the ones that where there's the spontaneity are just, there was no, I don't think there was any scripting to other than, for maybe a minute or two before Do You Believe in Miracles?
Yeah. Ball down.
Both calls of Kirk Gibson's home run in the '88 World Series. Obviously, that just those are classic calls.
What was the better call there? That's a fun debate. I'm going to go with Buck personally, even though we hear Scully more.
Well, you hear Scully because it was the TV version as opposed to the radio version. So it's a different call. Obviously, it's a different call. Because at that point, you just you lay out and you let the picture tell a story.
A strike call. It's
technical term is layout for you folks out there. It means the announcer just shuts up and lets the pictures talk as opposed to you talk.
Well, I think that the coolest thing, any prejudice aside, here's the pitch first, missing away. So that is ball 4. On the 3-1 pitch, walked him. And Kropp will come to the plate, we believe. Let's make sure that they haven't switched hitters here. It is Kropp, who was flied out and had a sacrifice. What I was going to say is what was cool is the father and son, of course. The call with the Minnesota Twins.
The Puckett home
see
run.
you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, of course, David Freese home run, the son.
Same
see
call.
you tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's understated, and it's perfect.
Right. It was a
the
perfect.
Picture spoke.
It was a perfect hat tip to Dad.
Yeah, and the picture spoke. Mm-hmm. You don't overanalyze or over-describe what you saw.
No doubt.
Now, on the flip side, Jim Nantz has been pretty open about, especially championship game closing lines or Masters closing lines, kind of having things pre-prepared. But he always says he does have some lines in the can, so to speak, ready to go.
I think that could be different. The end of a game that is not a walk-off. It's not it's not like a blowout where you've got the whole time to think about it or something like that. I think that goes into a different category. Yeah, our friend in these parts, Jack Benjamin, during COVID actually did a bracket on his site of the greatest calls of all time, and actually did podcasts with some of these guys who had done it, which was, it was interesting to follow, some of these things, and all of these ones that we're talking about were all part of the conversation. But just to see, see what people thought about which ones were, the best, and obviously, you get down in these parts, that throw gets away at first.
It'll be a throwing error by the pitcher Cure to get Wiltz to second base. So Kropp now with an opportunity with 2 outs to drive in a run. As the throwing error is the 4th error for Pope John Paul. They've had a tough time here in that regard. Well, in all sincerity, look, Ernie Harwell was great. There's so many good broadcasters, but to me, when it comes to baseball, I just think you name the 2 best, Vin Scully and Jack Buck. They were marvelous. Marvelous. They let the game speak. They had great inflection, great voices, obviously. There's another wild pitch. So on to third will go Wiltz. And they both work for iconic franchises, which also makes a difference. When you work for franchises that have storied histories and win, it makes a difference. People pay attention to the teams that win. Nobody can tell you the broadcasters for the X team, right? Name a team that doesn't contend and typically isn't very good. There's a liner foul down the third base side. 1-2. And I know you guys are Astros fans. You grew up like I did, and as I was young, of course, I listened to Gene Elston and Lil Pass, and
as did I. Gene's a little too
and they were
too young.
Right, I'm a Milo Hamilton influenced guy who's pretty good in his own right.
Toward short, shortstop gloves it, throws to first, got his man. Good play by Hoff, and Pope John Paul hanging in the inning. No runs, no hits in error. 1 runner left on base. We've played 4. And it's 5-1 K's for Kids on top in this one. Live streaming from the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. Must be a reason. On we head to the fifth inning and a 5-1 ball game with Case for Kids on top here. No, Milo Hamilton was good. I was, as you know, I did the Zephyrs AAA games and went to Kissimmee to cover spring training every year, and I got to meet and know Mr. Hamilton. He was nice to me, got along with him, talked to me about things and so forth, and
not everybody
I think he's a good Well, let me finish what I'm saying. He's a good broadcaster. He's nice to me, but there was a lot of attitude and ego there with regard to others, and I'll leave it at that. On the other hand, I never met Vin Scully, but everyone in the world tells you just how nice a guy was, and I did meet Jack Buck, and he might have been the nicest guy you'll ever meet. The stories that are told about him are legendary, but I got a chance to meet him, and he doesn't treat anybody like they're less than him. But the best story about him is how he would always go to the umpires' room and go talk to the umpires and greet them and tell them hello. And sometimes go give them a gift card to go to a restaurant, everything else, just to let them know that he cared about them and he appreciated them. And most broadcasters, as we know, do nothing but find fault with the balls and strikes calls or the calls on the bases and everything else. And we're all guilty of that. Sometimes we're innocent because we're right, but that's the nature of umpiring,
well,
right?
Speaking of, I think we can all agree that Harry Doyle is our favorite
Harry Doyle.
Harry Doyle.
Actually, I loved his color man. This is high and away, and
There's
it's 2-0.
a lot of jokes that I can interject on that comment, but I'm going to let it go.
2-0 to Pinks. He's not the best color man for nothing. 2 balls and no strikes. Next pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. As Lenny knows, his dad was involved with the Zephyrs. I got to be friends with a lot of guys that called AAA games, and they're all good and good people. 2-1. Missing down 3-1 is one of the things I miss about it is the relationships and the camaraderie that existed between the individuals, because most of those guys, their goals was to get to the major leagues, and it's hard to get there. You have to have a sponsor. You have to know somebody, basically. That's a strike 3-2 because I can unequivocally tell you that many of those guys were not only plenty good enough to do it, in some cases might have been better than the guys at the big league level. I do think the guys with the Astros do a good job. I think their play-by-play guy on radio is good. Strike call, got him 1 out. Of course, I'm friends with Steve Sparks. On the other side, having done his games here and got to be friends with him, and wonderful guy.
So many of those former Zephyrs have gone on to broadcasting careers. What,
CJ's done well. Yes, he has.
And some of the other guys are working in different spots, maybe as a as studio analyst, that kind of thing.
Pitch missing away for a ball to Uribe. Or is this not Uribe? This might be a different hitter. Again, the numbers are very small on these jerseys. Swinging a foul. Yep, it's Uribe, so it's 1-1.
Well, you mentioned Steve Sparks, and Robert Ford is the main play-by-play guy,
that's right.
Although they split the dues. And it's about, I think, baseball, the relationship there between the announcers is so important.
That's right. Strike here. It's 1-2.
You worked with Ron Swoboda for a number of years on Zephyrs broadcasts. That's what it's about, developing a rapport and a relationship. Those end up being the best broadcast teams.
1-2 the count. Here it comes. And he brushed him and touched him, so it's a hit by a pitch.
Right.
And Uribe to first with 1 out, and that'll flip the order. And get Gibbs up, who's grounded out and singled. 5-1 here in the 5th inning. And Ron and I were good friends prior to, and of course that helped. So the relationship was that we both had a tremendous passion for the game, and he would tell me all the time, you make me work harder because you're so crazily prepared for this. And I'm like, well, it's the only way I know how to do it. And if you can't do it right, you shouldn't do it. And we got to be very close. He still hits me up and tells me before we leave this earth, we got to do another game or two together, and haven't quite had that opportunity. 0-1 the count here.
By the way, it's slightly belated happy birthday wishes to Ron, who hit a milestone on Sunday.
Sure did.
Won't get into numbers, but
Here's an 8 involved.
there's about to say there was a snowman involved in it. So
There it is.
Golf parlance, yeah.
Moved to first, picked him off. Run him towards second. Make one throw, run him back toward first, tag him out.
That's a good executed pickoff / rundown. You only want to make one throw.
Last thing you want being down 5-1 is to get picked off. In a situation like that, you just can't afford to lose base runners. Because right about now, you're counting outs if you're case for kids. And that's 2 outs here. And now nobody on. With Gibbs at the plate. And a 0-1 count. Check swing toward first. It'll be caught. And the inning comes to a close. Nothing across. Let's take a stretch from Winterscheid, where it's 5-1. Case for kids on top in this one. And again, thanks to our friends at Lamarck. Live streaming from the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League, brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. Must be a reason. There's a reason. Jude's driving a Lamarck Ford. Denise is driving a Lamarck Lincoln. Here's truly driving a Lamarck Ford. Let's see here. It's Jacob Van Gilder driving a Lamarck
Jacob
vehicle.
is driving his Lamarck pre-owned. Yes,
That's
he
right.
is.
So there must be a reason.
Must be.
I'm trying to figure it out. Go ask Timmy. He came up earlier when you were downstairs, came up to visit. I think we're supposed to text somebody about that, right?
Yeah, we need to check in.
Maybe
and
I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that.
Do the same thing.
Yeah,
So.
I think I'll go that route here. So 5-1 here going to the 5th inning.
Seven 7-6 final in Toronto after
just about
the
to-
Blue Jays. The
just
Blue
about to
Jays
check
jumped. The Blue Jays jumped out 7-0 after 4 before the Astros rallied. 5 in the 5th and 1 in the 8th.
Yep, checking it out.
Yep.
Mets lead the Nationals. Mets have been playing well. Reds lead the Yankees 5-4 in the 8th.
Well, fortunately, nobody's here wearing a Grimace suit in 100-degree heat.
Missing away for a ball. I hear you. 1-0. This is Ryan Darrow, who's reached on an error, scored a run, reached on an error, scored a run. Twice. Double the pleasure. 1-0. It's high. It's 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Going Cure, working in his 2nd inning in relief. Down and out 3-0. I'll actually be at Tropicana for a Yankees-Rays game next week. Frank Cazzo will be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Green as well. They live and die with those pinstripe guys.
Oh, yeah.
Outside a ball, so that's a 4-pitch walk to Dara.
Now we know how loud those Yankee home games in Tampa can be.
Oh, you think? The good news about Tropicana, it's indoors.
Very good point.
There you have it. Been there several times. Christian Michel, they finally have a ballpark planned there, so it's about time. Oh, throw to first. Ball gets away. That'll be another throwing error. So that'll be error number 5 in the game. Runner goes to second. So Darren in scoring position. It's not a terrible place. It's just, comparatively speaking, and I've been to 26 Major League Parks, it's right near the bottom. No real amenities, but it is comfortable. You're indoors. Remember, I did the first sporting event in that building.
Wow.
I did a New Orleans night arena football game.
How about that?
Back in 1991 when it
Tampa
first
Bay
opened.
Storm, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch is up for a ball. Ed Daniels did the game with me. And it was a brand new building. Like, this is kind of like a warehouse or something. The slanted roof and everything else. It just opened. They had another event or two before, but we had the first sporting event. And the coach was Jay Gruden for Tampa Bay. Here's his high, and it's 2-0. And Eddie Kayat was the coach of the night.
Was Mickey Guidry
2-0
quarterback?
the count. He was there the second year, the next year. This pitch is on.
Mark Zeno was on?
Willie Totten was their quarterback.
Willie Totten.
In year
Satellite.
one. That's right. In year one. 3-0 the count.
He had a
former
receiver.
Tulane wide receiver, Jerome McIntosh, was a good player.
Totten had a pretty good receiver to throw to in college, I think we all recall.
Here we go. That's breaking ball away. Walked him. So back-to-back walks with nobody out and a chance for K's for Kids. We'll get Brady McCluskey to the plate. He's grounded to second and grounded to the pitcher.
Speaking of that era of Tulane football, got a call from Terrence Jones today. Glad to hear he is doing better. Good. Yes, that's
good guy.
That's good. Good to hear. One of the all-time greats ever to wear a Tulane uniform.
Super guy, super player.
And before his time, if Terrence Jones comes around 20 years later, he might have had a great career in the NFL.
Strike hall. I just wish they had a better team around him. They were average. Mark Zeno was a first-team All-American on some All-American teams, but they just weren't that good overall. They were 500 type of team. They got to go to the Independence Bowl, 6-6 team, swing and a miss. Lost to Washington, 0-2.
1987.
The fact that they were competing in shootouts with teams like sometimes even Florida State, LSU, Ole Miss.
That LSU game in '87. A lot of people thought that Tulane had to win the game to get to the Independence Bowl, and it was such a good game that they got the invite.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Good pitch. Out number one, McCluskey. Gone on strikes. That's right, they did. And as Lenny knows, I did games for TV for Tulane in those days. And
a couple of times I probably did stats for you in the booth.
You might have.
My student days.
You may have.
Speaking
of,
I was in diapers.
Oh, there you go.
Something
there
like
you go.
that,
Something like that. Speaking of that era of Tulane football, I had a chance to have breakfast with Wright Waters last week when I was in Tuscaloosa. So, chance to catch up with Wright. Of course, he was part of Mac Brown's team at that point. He was, an associate AD and later became interim AD.
Popped up. Infield, shortstop, infield fly rule. Caught, Navarro retired, and now after the 2 walks, 2 quick outs, and Reese Russell, who did hit the big 2-run double earlier, will bat. He might have a chance to make another big statement here or is it going to be Russell? No, it's not. We're going to get another hitter here. This is going to be Timmy Gabriel, who's going to hit in Russell's spot. I was about to say, we do pick an MVP. So
it makes it with some of these substitutions that we're seeing on this side. It's making it making it a little more challenging because you don't have starters in there the entire time. I think the only one that's playing the entire game is McCluskey. That's it.
I mean, we could start debating it on the air, but Cole Heap was pretty dominant for 3 innings on the hill. So
he's good.
Maybe the leader in the clubhouse, literally.
We'll let it unfold. Still got 3 innings to play. Sliced right side and out of play. 1-1. Ball and a strike. Ball and a strike on Gabriel. Towards center, hit well, but center fielder has it measured, making the catch. Giordane, and the inning is over after the 2 walks, nothing happening. 2 men stranded, poke jump ball hanging around in this game. That's now 6 stranded by the Crusaders. We head to the 6th inning, and it's still 5-1 in favor of K's for Kids. So on to the 6th we go. And we'll see who takes to the mound here. It's Heap for 3. Then we had Tingstrom last 2 innings.
I think the plan was to use 3 different pitchers.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
So a 5-1 game. Into the 6th inning.
This is a right-hander, and I believe it's supposed to be Amity on here.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's who we got, Drake Amity, taking to the mound. So 2 innings pitched for Jude Tingstrom. And he allowed 1 hit a batter while he was out there, and had a strikeout. Did not allow any runs in relief of Heap. And now we get Amity taking over in the 6th inning. Not a safe situation, up by 4. Amity has made 2 appearances. He's 1-0 with a 1.40 earned run average. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He's walked 3, struck out 9. He's hit 2 batters.
I'd say this is a hard choice as you start looking at options for the outstanding player, only because, like I said, they've used a ton of guys. It's not like a huge offensive show by one player. Although Navarro does have a couple of RBIs in this game, but it's
and he was
still
prominent.
This is
he was prominent in the semifinal game as well.
Yeah, and maybe that may be.
I think that may be where we go because of the nature of 2 games in one day and what he's been able to do here.
Mm-hmm. It's true, and he did pitch in the first game as well. So it's he got the win in the first game. Is that right? Because it was Brother Martin had a 2-1 lead after 3.
So here in the 6th inning, Babin will lead it off. He struck out and grounded out. Cole Navarro got the win in game 1, and he also went 2 for 2 at the plate. First pitch down, a ball, 1-0.
But it certainly highlights the overall team performance. Played extremely well in 2 games here and had plenty of heroes.
Pop foul out of play, and Navarro in this game 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. So it's 1-1. You still could have drama in this game. Now you never know. Here it comes. Fouled right side. It's 1-2. The case for Kids team has been tough to score on, though. 1-2 the count. And towards second, slowly. Wiltz gobbles it up, flips to first, 1 gone. 5 more outs to get. And here's Andrew Hoff, who singled and scored. He's 1 for 2. He's stolen a base.
I think that's actually Navarro now at second base.
It is Navarro. He moved to second, so they have moved people around again.
Yeah.
So Navarro makes that play. Hey, there's another reason, right? Must be a reason.
Must be.
He moved to second.
We got to have a reason for this.
Got to have a reason. Now, look, I mean, Heaps pitched well in this game. Navarro pitched really well. Got the win in game 1. He had 2 hits in game 1. He's walked and scored in this game. Foul back, it's 0-1. In this game, of course, Roussel with the 2-run double. He had 1 at bat in game 1. Pitch missing, 1-1. Swinging a foul back, 1-2. Stan Wiltz had 2 hits in the first game today. He's walked twice in this game, stolen a base. Just going down the list here.
UNO commitment. Got to throw that out there.
There you go.
Contractually.
There you go.
Another 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Great pitch there. And 2 gone. Got ahead, expanded the zone, got the swing.
Yeah, that could be something fun for next year. What all those Little League World Series players are all going to be seniors for the most part next year.
Mm-hmm. Missing outside.
If you got them all together on one team one more time again, in an all-star setting, let them play. Just have
Yeah, Romo's had 2. Ralph Martin's had 4, I think. Curtis has had 1. Lutcher popped up. Short center. Easy chance coming here from McCluskey. Put it away. Solid inning. Worked by Amity. Nothing across. We go to the bottom of the sixth, and it's still a 5-1 ball game. Case for Kids closing in. Needing just 3 more outs to capture the Crescent City Sports 2024 championship here.
I know some guys that helped put together a summer league who might be able to put at least a game like that
That would
together.
be, I mean, look, you got a little latitude in terms of all-star games and things like that. Could be, could be interesting. I know, there's probably another friend of the program out there who puts a lot of seniors together on one team. He could maybe provide the other team out there. I'm just saying, It might be, might be something fun. But look, that's, we're in the summer 2024. It's a ways from now.
Bottom of the sixth inning. Arrives. And this is a new pitcher, Eric Homburg, takes to the mound. I had to make sure. But it is Eric Homburg taking over for Cohen Cure. Homburg, a right-hander. 2 innings worked for Cure. And escaped without allowing a run. He did walk 3. And he recorded a strikeout. And now we get Homburg, third pitcher of the game for the Jags. And we'll wait to see who hits here. I know Ethan Prather is going to hit. I know we're also going to see Luke Gabb. Looks like Gabb will lead it off here. So Gabb will hit in Lamont's spot. Here's Gabb. Left-handed hitter. Missing a ball. Again, guys, what kind of gets lost in this game is that Case for Kids has 1 hit in the game. That's it.
But they've taken advantage of every opportunity given to them tonight. They got that. They built that lead early.
Got the big inning. Missing, it's 2 another 4-run third inning, and had the big 2-run double by Rousseau, but that came after the walk and the error that set it up.
Right. Yeah,
2 balls and a strike. Here it comes. And that's a strike, and it's 2-1.
You spend a lot of time around Delgado. One of the late Rag Sherman's philosophies was the winning team is going to score more runs in 1 inning than the losing team is going to score in the entire game more times than not. That's certainly the case here.
That's a breaker in the dirt. So it's 3-1 now to Gabb. Luke, a left-handed hitter. Saw him in game 1. Going into his sophomore year, another one of those young players with a great future. Here it is. And that's down, ball 4. So Gabb trots to first. And now we'll see Egan Prather. Comes back. He batted in the second, and then Switzer batted in the fourth. And now Prather will bat again here as they play the switch game.
Right. The plan was behind the plate that Prather would catch the first 2 and the last 2.
Here's Egan. Pitcher stepped off.
If you're a catcher, that's not a bad way to put in a
Get
shift.
a break. Well, you get a break, and I mean, look, it's been a long day for both of these teams.
Runner goes. He'll make it to second without a play. Stolen base for Gabb.
Yeah.
And a 1-0 count.
And, look, we've tipped our hat in a lot of different directions this evening. But, these 2 teams, when we got together after the range yesterday and tried to figure out a plan, when the suggestion was made, let's just finish this thing off in one day and not extend it to another, no one hesitated. I mean, they're used to playing doubleheaders. It's nothing to it, but obviously it's a warm day. We wanted to get it in before the 4th of July, and that's
Toward right, should be handled. Runner goes back to tag, but not enough time or distance to be able to advance. One gone. Prather retired, and we'll get another different hitter here. This is Tyler Durand who's going to bat. So Durand bats in the spot Shannon occupied. Took a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Bounced it, runner for third, good read. Makes the down read well, and Gabb gets himself to third on a wild pitch. And the count goes to 2-0. We'll have our awards presentation following the game on the field. Interviews, too. Stay for that, if you will. We love having you. We appreciate all watching here this evening in our championship game. 2-0. Short right field. Long run, everybody. Nobody will get it. Drops for a hit. Run will score. RBI Duran. 6-1 ball game.
And look, when you're a good team and you're doing the right things, those are the kind of breaks you get. Put it in play right there with the infield in, the runner third, less than 2 out, right over that, right in front of the outfielders, over the head of the infielders. That's just good, solid, fundamental baseball. When you're doing those things, the breaks come your way.
Now Blaze Tingstrom will get the at-bat. Tingstrom took a ball. Blaze, of course, pitched in game 1. Ball and no strikes. Now 2-0. One down here, a run home, and it's 6-1. Case for Kids here in the 6th inning. Down and out. So the count to 3-0 now on Blaze.
All right, so to Jude's point earlier, is now the pressure on the winner of this game?
Yeah, I think so. As we mentioned to Frank earlier, ball 4. Got to keep the streak alive. So if that's the case, barring a rally, Brother Martin's got to win a state championship in 2025. And that wouldn't be too far-fetched with the players they have returning.
No doubt.
Cody Kropp will bat. That league will be very good as always. The Rummel team they beat tonight will be good. Jesuit will be good. Holy Cross, a new coach. Galbanura will be competitive. St. Augustine getting better and better every year will definitely be a factor. John Curtis, enough said.
Always.
Pitch missing,
always.
and that's a pass ball. Kicked right off the glove. Runners advance to second and third. Yeah, the Patriots are there every year under Jeff Curtis.
Of course, an 8-team District 9 5A next year with the addition of Warren Easton.
Yeah, Easton competes in baseball. Not badly, I might add.
No, they're not. They're not bad.
They're competitive. Jesuit's been playing them on a yearly basis. Baseball, that's down and out. So it's 2-0. And the hitter is Rex LeBlanc.
Get a visit here.
So long talk coming up with Rex LeBlanc hitting. Good to see older brother and dad here tonight, too. Good people. Mike's been a great coach at Brother Martin for years. Football. Older brother's a terrific football player. Long day for these Jaguars. Again, unavoidable. We had the rain situation yesterday, which unfortunately made us push this back Made them finish that game today, and who would have known they'd play 12 innings? But they played 12 innings, and that's just the way it unfolded. Pitch on the way. Bounced it. Wild. Runner for the plate. He will score. Back end runner to third. And now it's a 7-1 ball game. So the other runner to third. And LeBlanc now, as sees a runner down at third, he can drive in with the infield coming in at every spot. Here he comes. Bounced it. So LeBlanc trots to first.
Now batting, number 9, Ryan Darrow.
Ryan Darrow will bat. He's reached on an error, and he's reached twice on walks. And he scored twice. Nice to have Mike Capo watching tonight. Thank you, Mike, for the kind words. That gets away. Runner for the plate. He'll score. Another wild pitch makes it 8-1. And the back end runner to second. And a 1-0 count on Darrow. So this one certainly has been broken open. And you don't see a line score very often with 8 runs on 2 hits, but that's the case here. Here it comes. Out of play right side. 1-1.
Maybe the last time we get to see Ryan Darrow here in the summer. One last chance for him to try to do damage like he's done consistently.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Runner at second, 1 out. Tap foul. 3 runs home in the inning.
Let's just say when your batting average is better than some guys' fielding percentages. So it's a pretty good summer.
That would be an understatement. But he's been that good. Another. And he chased it and struck him out. You don't see him do that often. A little anxious, and that's the second out. A strikeout recorded by Homburg. We'll get you to Christian Michel, I think. Let's see if he's hitting. He is. 2 ground outs and a walk for Christian. Out of play, it's 0-1. Hey, Lenny. The other reason. No balls and a strike. Inside a ball, 1-1. Again, we're inclined to go with Cole Navarro. 2 hits in game 1. Walking a run scored in game 2. Winning pitcher game 1. Is our most valuable player. Toward third, Cade Lacoste will set and throw his man out. Inning comes to a close, but the Case for Kids team gets a big inning with 3 runs crossing the plate, and they do it with the benefit of 1 hit in the inning. No errors. And strand a runner. And in the game now, they've stranded at least 1 in every inning. 8 left overall. Last chance coming for Pope John Paul II. Case for Kids leads it by the score of 8-1 here, going to the 7th inning.
Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to please stay in your seats.
So impressive by Case for Kids.
Thank you.
And Amity will try to close this one out.
Thank you.
So Amity, having done his job extremely well in the previous inning, will go out there again. He sent him down 1-2-3 in the 6th. And here in the 7th inning, he's got 3 more to get. Amy, Diodane and Guidry will bat against Drake Amity, who's going into his junior season. Finishing his warm-up tosses, and again gives us a chance to thank all that made this happen. Again, starting with Archbishop Shaw High School and head coach Chad Foray for his outstanding hospitality. Hosted us, opened it up for us with open arms, got his young men to help do the field, cover the mound, cover the plate, everything. Redid the field again. Took care of the scoreboard and PA. Just can't say enough about Chad Foray and the Archbishop Shaw program. We're extremely thankful. There's Caden Amy, and that is high, 1-0. Amy is 0 for 2. He's reached on an error. The only error made by Case for Kids all day. Missing outside, 2-0. It was a tough chance. And it's just to illustrate how well they've played defensively. Lenny taking care of the hardware. 2 balls and no strikes. And a strike called. It's 2-1. Now the 2-1. Missing away, it's 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike. Swing and a miss, 3-2. Payoff pitch due from Drake Amity to Caden Amy. 3-2 the count. One out here in the 7th inning. Amy down on strikes. Diodane will bat. He has walked and he has grounded out.
Now to bat, number 3, Trey.
Diodane to the plate. And he takes the strike, 0-1. Toward right center, long run. Nobody gets there. Rounds first, heads for second. Diodane has himself a stand-up double. Trey Diodane rips a double. Much to family's delight here. And the Jaguars have hit number 3 in the game.
Now to bat, number 1, Mike Mosley.
Mike Mosley's going to bat. Took it away, ball 1. Mosley getting his first opportunity to hit. One and one. That's a wild pitch. Runner will go to third. So he's there with 1 out and a 2-1 count. Now Mosley will try to pick him up. 90 feet away. Two balls and a strike. Out of play right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he's gone on strikes. So 1 more out to get. And striding to the plate is Noah Banks, who is 0 for 2. He's flied out, struck out. And he represents the last chance. Swing and a miss. Now the 0-1 pitch. Right down the middle, and now they're a strike away. No balls and 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss, and that'll do it. K's for Kids, the Crescent City Sports Year 3 Rep Summer League champions. Amity nails it down with 2 solid innings of relief work. He struck out 4 in the process. No runs on 1 hit while he was out there. Just a solid performance to complete an overall outstanding performance by Brother Martin here. K's for Kids. They were just outstanding as they get it done, winning this one by the score of 8-1. Handshakes are taking place all around, and then we'll have our awards presentation here coming up in just a couple of minutes. So an 8-1 final here. We give you the totals of the ball game. 8 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. 8 men left for K's for Kids. 1 run, 3 hits, 5 errors. And 4 men left on base for Pope John Paul II. The winning pitcher, Cole Heap, he improves to 3-0 with the victory. The losing pitcher was Nate Babin. The game took an hour and 50 minutes to complete, and K's for Kids wins it by the score of 8-1 here this evening. Great time by K's for Kids. A great job done by K's for Kids. And now let's head down to the playing field where Lenny Van Gilder and Jude Young are standing by. So, Lenny, take it away.
Thank you very much. We got a lot of thank yous to hand out here.
You hearing me now? A lot of thank yous to hand out. First of all, to our 4 playoff teams for enduring a long day of baseball after what happened yesterday. So thanks to all 4 teams. Thanks to all of you for being out here. Thanks to our host at Archbishop Shaw and everybody who helped make this possible in the 3rd year of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League. We have some hardware to hand out. Let's start with our runner-up, a great effort by Pope John Paul II to reach the championship game. The number 4 seed battled for 12 innings over 2 days to get to the final. Give it up for the Jaguars, our runner-up in year 3. For the 2nd consecutive year, we are handing out a most valuable player of the championship series, and as deep as this Cage for Kids roster is, it was very tough for us to pick just one player, but one stood out above the rest, especially with a terrific performance in the semifinals to help get his team to the finals, and that's Cole Navarro, our MVP of the championship series. And again, Jude Young, the co-owner of Crescent City Sports, handing out all the hardware here this evening. All right, and as Jude brought up on the broadcast here, this is a good sign, I believe. In 2022, our champion was based at Jesuit, and they won a state championship in prep the following year. Last year, our state champion was based at Lutcher. They won a state championship in May. Here is our 3rd champion of the Crescent City Sports Prep Summer League from Brother Martin, K's for Kids. Coach Jeff Lupo and players, come on forward to get your award. Jeff, we'll get you to come over for a second and just. That was a terrific performance all day by your team on all accounts. Whether it was clutch hitting, it was defense, it was pitching, and only allowing 2 runs in the course of 2 games. A terrific performance to come out and play a doubleheader like you did.
Yeah, and the guys were really focused to come in today. They knew the importance of, and they established some goals of wanting to win, and that establishing that tradition of winning, and that culture of winning was going to start over the summer. So I was really pleased with that. We played a complete game. We played clean defense. All 6 guys that threw on the mound commanded the strike zone. And in the first game, we got a couple of timely hits. and then in the second game we were able to apply consistent pressure up and down the lineup. So it was really a team effort. I was really proud of them.
This just, I mean, you guys were playing very well coming in here, and this just seemed to be a culmination of what you were able to do over really the final 3 weeks of the regular season in this league.
Yeah, you know, and we had played a lot of games, and a lot of guys had gotten a lot of time, but I think, you know, what today showed and what the entire season showed is that we have a bunch of guys that we have a veteran ball club, and we have a bunch of guys that are returning and have played a lot of quality innings, and the depth really showed today. And, you know, guys were competing with themselves individually, but as a group, they were really holding each other accountable and pushing each other, so it was really good to watch.
And to that end, I mean, you were playing 19, 20 guys out there. It wasn't just you were putting a 9, 10-man lineup out there and just rolling with it. You were alternating guys at every position, moving guys around at different positions, because, again, winning is what you want to do every time you take the field. But this, you know, the summer is about development and getting ready for next year, isn't it?
Yeah, and one thing that we kind of stress to them is, you know, a lot of times, you know, a lot of people think decisions are easy, but to make our decisions as coaches difficult. And they went out there, and a lot of guys that were competing for a lot of quality of competitive situations, and they really rose to the occasion and, you know, really prepared themselves. And, you know, I told one of the guys today, the reason you were starting a game today on the mound is because you deserve to be there, but also to prepare yourself to where you're going to have to be in that situation next year. So they did a really good job of you know, using this as a stepping stone and preparing themselves to catapult themselves into next season.
Congratulations again on the win. Go and enjoy the rest of the summer.
Appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you for everything you do. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you.
Ken, back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Lenny. Appreciate it. Thanks to Jude as well. Thanks to Jeff Lupo, and of course, thanks to everyone. As the Brother Martin-based Keys for Kids defeat Pope John Paul II 8-1 in our championship game here this evening. Once again, totals of the game for Keys for Kids: 8 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 8 men left. For Pope John Paul II, 1 run, 3 hits, 5 errors, and 4 men left on base. Cole Heap the winner, Nate Babin the loser. An hour and 50 minutes to play. Keys for Kids closes 10-1. They win their last 9 games of the competition to accomplish this championship in special fashion. They earned it unquestionably. Congratulations also to Pope John Paul II for a wonderful season under Brian Babin, under difficult circumstances he coached here in this event. Congratulations also to Ponchatoula, who was the #1 team in our regular season, and to Malcolm M. Dines, based at Archbishop Rummel, for another outstanding season. And to all 16 of our teams and coaches and players and parents and administrators and everyone involved with these outstanding institutions, we are thrilled to be able to partner with you, and we look forward to continuing with our 4th season next year, which will be bigger and better than ever as we continue to expand. We had our JV teams this year, and now we're going to increase our participation moving forward even more. I mean, it's been that type of association, it's been that type of league, and it's been that type of accomplishment that has been done by these wonderful schools to make this exactly what we planned it to be, which is a tool for schools to be able to continue to develop their players during the summertime, while we have the opportunity to work with other entities too, allowing these young men and more to be able to go on to participate in other events during the summer months, whether it's showcases or travel ball, whatever the case may be. We do that by playing these games on weekdays, and on top of that, we also enable the coaches of these schools to retain their players and help develop them moving forward. And I think you got a pretty good look at some of these players that are being developed that are going to be outstanding in years to come. Once again, our final here, 8-1. Keys for Kids wins it over Pope John Paul II. Thanks to Matt Merritt. Thanks to Chip Merritt. Great work as always, guys. Thanks to Lenny Van Gilder. And thanks to Jude Young. Special thanks to Frank Cazzo and Chad Foray for their outstanding help here to make this happen, too. Thank you all for joining us, and be a good sport. And God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.